Joining us now, Minneapolis former police chief Medaria Arradondo. Mr. Arradondo was chief during the murder of George Floyd. Thank you for joining us. What a terrible day.
Yeah, Katie, thank you for having me. I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances today.
So if you had your way, what information would the police have access to ahead of something like this?
Well, I think it's what the FBI agent, a former FBI agent, said just before the break there, that oftentimes the police may oftentimes be the last ones, or law enforcement may be the last ones to get sort of a profile on someone who may go down this path. However, family, friends, coworkers, neighbors will oftentimes, Katie, be the first ones to notice something peculiar, something odd. If someone is going through a bout of depression, again, if they're writing in social media, things involving violence or having some sort of revenge towards an institution, a person, an individual, that's oftentimes those people are going to be the ones in that person's circle who are going to hear it first. And as far as law enforcement, we want all that information. They will sift through. If it's something benign, let the law enforcement agencies work on that and filter that out. But if there's a nugget of information that could help stave off a tragedy, such in this case, law enforcement will always err on the side of we'd rather have a little than nothing. And so I think Katie, continuing to inform and educate communities to call in if they see something or hearing a person on social media talking to coworkers, they're going through bouts of talking about suicidal tendencies or acts of violence, acting out. We need to hear that sooner than later.
So I'm not sure what exactly happened in this scenario and whether maybe there was an alert. We don't know yet. They're still investigating. The details are going to come out. But I wonder if you were a person and you're worried about a loved one and you don't know how worried to be about that loved one, but you do feel like maybe you should say something. If it ends up being not an immediate and violent threat, if the person, if the loved one is worried about it getting taken too far by the police, what is the process by which the police come and investigate? Say somebody's concerned that they don't want to make a big deal out of something that is actually, just a person who's struggling and needs to talk to somebody rather than a person who's struggling and wants to kill someone.
Yeah, Katie, that's a great question. And I think even just having the initial outreach, if the person decides to go to local law enforcement, let's say it's a family member, it may just be simply calling local law enforcement to say that, my son or my daughter has been talking about, acts of violence. They may have access to weapons in the home. Just keeping local law enforcement updated on that. It could also mean a parent perhaps going to a school resource officer or another student reaching out to a school resource officer to give them information that, hey, my classmate is talking about this, or I've seen writings, or on Instagram or TikTok, they're sort of saying these things that are disturbing, and I'm concerned. Just reaching out, making sure that other adults have that information, they can monitor the situation, maybe intervene. It might include professional counselors, school social workers, what have you. Again, we don't know all the details specifically to this tragedy at Annunciation School today, but Katie, letting more people in that circle of support know, I think is important, and I think it can be helpful.
It's been a rough few years from Minneapolis, from Minnesota. You had, when you were chief, George Floyd. Then there was, the backlash against police. Recently, there was the two lawmakers who were killed. One lawmaker that was killed, one that was injured, by somebody who was not well with a gun. And now you have this. How is the state? How is the city?
Yeah, and Katie, certainly this tragedy today, I have to even just pause for a moment. We lost two precious souls today, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old whose family won't be seeing them again today. The trauma inflicted upon those students, I was just seeing the young 5th grader describing that. No child should ever have to be in that situation and have that as a memory. As you mentioned, we lost our political heroes in Minnesota recently. Certainly we lost Representative Hortman and her husband, and certainly Senator Hoffman and his wife were injured. So that pain is real here in Minnesota. Certainly, Governor Walz has spoke about that, and Mayor Jacob Frey today of Minneapolis, when he stepped up to that podium, and he said, "We can no longer think of these children as someone else's kids." That really resonated so much, certainly with me, and certainly with so many here in Minneapolis, and certainly in the state, and I think across the country. And so Minneapolis certainly is grieving right now. Our hearts are heavy and they're hurting. But as Mayor Jacob Frey said too, the Minneapolis family, we are a family, and they will pull together. And I think it's the resilient spirit that Minnesota has, that neighbors will rely upon neighbors and support each other. And that also goes with our first responders, who I have to just commend all of them, from Minneapolis police officers who first responded, the mutual aid agencies. We have a great system of care at both our Minneapolis Children's Hospital and HCMC, which is our level 1 trauma center. Those surgeons, those ER nurses and teams did a remarkable job in trying to save those victims from today's shooting. And so Minnesota pulls together, Katie.
Yeah, I mean, you feel for everybody that witnessed it, certainly the families who lost loved ones, the families who are, have loved ones who are injured, but also the first responders and the police officers who showed up and had to witness all of that themselves as well. Chief Arradondo, really good to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Katie.